If I mentioned the dead fleet of Philadelphia, would you know what I'm talking about? I bet not. I don't think anybody here does talk about. Just over there at Pier 78, not this one, but there's another one of like sticks sticking out of the ground. I'll put an image up here on camera. That's Pier 78. From Google Maps, you can see 3 ships there known as the Three Sisters. All of those ships were destroyed in the 1940s, 1947 actually. And it's a pretty sad story about how they all got lost. The 3 ships, or the Three Sisters, or the Dead Fleet, whatever you want to refer to it as, they're a group of 3 ships, or it's actually 4, that are at Pier 78, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, near Walmart. Can you even see Walmart? There it is. Near Walmart. Good God. Trying to have you guys not have a Walmart parking lot in your shop, but it's making my right arm hurt. But I will suffer for the content. I thought this is very pretty. This is kind of what we have at the moment. If you would like to see the Dead Fleet for yourself, there's a huge fence barring you entrance. Probably because of all the homeless people that are sleeping here. And you know how you deal with homeless people. Just kick them out. Don't give them houses. Look, there's a bunch of cats. Look at all the kitties. That one, a cute one. Look at that one. They're kitties. And they're cute. Anyway, let me go back here and show you the area where they would be. Actually, I can get total permission to go back here. There's geese. I am the most ADHD vlogger ever. Anyway, the 3 ships, or the 4 ships, if you include the Mudscow 11, which is like here's a picture of a Mudscow. Yeah. There's actually 4 ships, but the 3 ships are named the John F. McDonald's, no, not the restaurant, the Albert D. Cummins, and the Marie M. Cummins, I believe. Those are the 3 schooners. Here's a picture of a schooner. Ah, God. So I enjoy these Walmart recycling bins behind me. Actually, we can see them back here. This would be Pier 78, right here. But the water's so high right now. I don't know why I'm talking. You can't hear me because the microphone is pointing outward. The water's so high right now. Wait, is it? No, it looks like it's low. Wait a minute. We might be able to see them. The 3 ships that I'm talking about. If we can get close enough to the pier. It looks like this part's not as gorded. Oh, I think we can go see them. Whoa, it was a goose. Look at that big mean goose. Look at that big mean goose. He's gonna beat us up. Let me see if I can get closer in a different way. Whoa. I don't know if I want to go back near this area. No. So, back behind this shipping area. Oh, it's bright now. Back behind all of this, over there, is where the 3 ships, the Maria, the John, and the Francis are. I was hoping over there I can get close enough. Probably if I go down and walk near the water, but I don't want to go walk by the water because it's scary. What if I slip? But yeah, there were once 5 ships there, but there was one named the USS Chesapeake, later renamed to the USS Severin by President Theodore Roosevelt, who decided that he didn't like the name USS Chesapeake because another ship surrendered to the British twice with that same name. So I don't know. Get wrecked, cowards? I don't know. But yeah, so apparently he renamed it, and it served in the Navy for several years up until the, I want to say 50s or 60s. I'll put the actual date here. But yeah, it served as a frigate for a while, and then it was an escort for the 1st Navy submarine unit, and then it was retired in I want to say around like the 50s or 60s as well. It retired pretty late for being a schooner. But yeah, how dark is it here? Not too bad, I think I'm good. I'll go back over here on the light. But yeah, so that is the one ship that managed to get out of what was known as the Kensington dry dock or shipyard. That whole area, this whole area used to be owned, this whole area, I should keep the camera pointed at me, used to be owned by the Kensington shipyard. And all the piers here, including the one I did the intro at, was owned by the Kensington shipyard. But when it went bankrupt in, I need to look at my notes, I'm such a professional. No. It went bankrupt and it was abandoned in the 1930s by the Kensington shipyard. And ended up just sitting there. The Mudscow 11 was abandoned by the Kensington shipyard was going bankrupt, so they used the Mudscow 11 as, what's the word I'm looking for? Collateral for the building of the other two. And for the longest time they just kind of sat there and were like just left to rot. But sadly, well actually before we get to the sad news, let's get to the good news. And the ships were almost bought twice. One by a naval officer, I forget his name, I think it was Dane or something. I'll put the name here as well. That was almost bought for a trip to Antarctica to be a floating museum, one of them, but that fell through. He never came in to collect them. Then they tried to sell them to Warner Brothers, but that didn't go very well either. So they ended up just sitting there, and Philadelphia sent many letters to this guy, I forget his name, who was going to buy it for an Antarctica trip. Do I have it in my notes? I might have it in my notes. Sorry, I'm a terrible professional. No. I must not have wrote that down because I didn't think it was interesting. But yeah, I'll put the person's name here. I'm walking out of Walmart now, so I'm gonna give you the rest of this until I start heading home. There's not really much to do. I was gonna do all standing in one spot, and then thought it's not gonna be very entertaining if I just stand in one spot. And this microphone is close enough that I can take out a little bit of the wind that I think is picking up. I have no idea if the mic's recording or not, so I have no way of plugging my headphones in this 4000D. Anyway, enough about me. Warner Brothers was gonna buy it for a movie, but then the ship was too dry rotted by then, so they left it. By the 1930s, during the prohibition of the Great Depression, the ship was lived on for a while, all three of them, by homeless people, and they would keep up with them and, you know, keep them clean. They even had a pet dog. It was fine, it was fun and dandy. Prohibition ended and the alcohol started hitting them again, and things got, well, even more depressing than the Great Depression. People started not caring, started not keeping them fixed, letting them break, so the police had to chase them out. I think they could have been left there. But by that point, the ships were so rotted that there was no way of keeping their structural integrity. And sadly, one day that there was a ship, I forget the name, I'll probably put the name of it here. I'm getting all this from the Hidden City. I'll put the website here. That was going to, well no, sorry, that was going to. That was sailing down the Delaware, and they left their lifeboats behind for some reason. Guess just neglect and not enough diligence. So a bunch of kids found them, hopped on board, and sailed them, started playing on them in the Delaware. Tide started pulling them out, so they tried rowing them back to land, but only could get to the John F. McDonald, one of the ships that were there. So, in doing so, they climbed on board, and the deck was so dry rot at that point, it broke, it gave way, and they fell into the hull of the ship that is now filled with water and drowned because they couldn't get out. They might have got stuck with something, nobody knows. By the time they were, 2 boys tried pulling them out who were near the dock, but couldn't find them in the water. So they had to go to Mount Sinai when the hospital still existed and wasn't, you know, now I think it's an apartment complex. But anyway, they had to rush to the hospital because of exposure and hypothermia because it was like winter, I believe. So, the time they were found, I think it was 2 or 3 boys were unsavable. So the governor of Philadelphia at the time and all of, you know, people that worked at the shipyard agreed, and they got $50,000 to burn the ship down, all 3 ships down to the water line. And that's what you can see from Google Street View or satellite view. You can't see it on Street View, there's trees in the way. You can see it from satellite view. And it's supposed to be, you know, a historical monument, but, am I still recording? Yeah. It's supposed to be a historical monument, yet no one knows it's there, and you can't even get to it. It's blocked off. So how historic can it be if it's just tucked away in the back of a shipping company? Not the sailing kind either, the truck kind. But yeah, so all 3 of the ships were burned down to the water lines, and that's now where they sit now. You can't even really tell they're there unless it's low tide. Not that you can even see it, because like I said, all 3 of the ships, including the Mud Scow, were completely burned, doused in kerosene, and covered in oil and gasoline and burned down. Sadly, the 4 ships, 3 sisters in the Mud Scow are now behind this building, these 2 buildings. You couldn't access them if you even wanted to. So they're called a historic landmark, but how can you use a landmark you can't see? So it would be nice if we had some kind of like memorial or like way to go over and see them, because they were like 3 ships that like were built for the World War that never got used because the Kensington shipyard overextended themselves and they went out of business. The white building over here might actually be the original Kensington shipyard building. I don't know, but yeah, if you look, I'm not gonna point my microphone away from me, up around in there, all the way back in the water back there. That's where the 3 sisters or the dead fleet sits, in a place where no one can see them. I know I keep repeating that, but it's a shame. It's really depressing. And it's getting dark. I came here around 5. No, sorry, I got here around 6. And now it's already almost nighttime. And I'm walking home now. But I just wanted to bring it to attention that there's also, if you look up the Dead Fleet Philadelphia, you'll find 2 articles on it. And no YouTube videos. I'm just like, it might not be that spectacular to see, but like, it's gotta be cool seeing like, it's sticking up out of the water, right? I mean, I wish I could go down there and see, but what are you gonna do? Walk through the shipping yard? No. I'm not in the mood to be arrested, so I won't be doing that. I shan't. I shall not. So yeah, that's the story of the gist. I'll say the gist. I have notes. I have not followed them. I've gone off what I remember in my brain. I read the article maybe twice, and this isn't a word for word recreation. Go to this article if you want an actual story on the Dead Fleet. I'm probably not even going to have it hovering over my hand or anything. It's just there. You want an actual story of the Dead Fleet, go to this article. It's by Robert McNulty. If I'm wrong, it'll pop up on screen, probably in front of my face in bold letters. But yeah, it's an amazing article. Goes in a lot of depth about it. And speaking of the Severin from a while back, I don't think that ship still exists. I think that ship got stuck. I don't think the USS Severin was kept alive. They probably, I'm losing strength of my arm to hold the camera up. He probably scrapped it. So yeah, that's the story on the Dead Fleet, or the Three Sisters. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried my best to make this as entertaining as possible. Probably it's a lot of shaky camera that I don't know if I'm going to be able to stabilize, because I wasn't entirely paying attention to where the camera was. But I've had too many videos get scrapped, and I'm not scrapped this one. Ooh, nah. We're coming up on another dead ship. I say that in quotation marks, because she's very much, you know, still hanging on. The USS United States. Thank you, Poe. Yeah, the USS United States. It's another, wasn't built in Philly, but it was docked here at some point. I think somebody in Philly bought it, and then it's just been in dry dock ever since. I don't know what the original plan was with it, but there's rumors she's finally being scrapped, which is I was gonna say disappointing and depressing at the same time. It's both. It's disappointing and depressing, because she's been such a fixture of Philadelphia for so long that, yeah, I don't think you could scrap her. Like, the city should just put money towards making her a museum. How cool would that be? She still floats for the most part, I think. She looks like she's leaning a bit. She might be at low tide, but for the most part, there's still water over there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm trying not to outro this like a normal YouTube video, because it's more of just me talking about the Dead Fleet, which I discovered when Google Docs, Google Maps, just clicking around, looking for filming locations. And I'm like, I've never even heard of this, and I lived in Philly all my life. It was burnt down in the 40s, which is why no one knows about it, and then hidden. Like dirty laundry underneath your rug. But yeah, this is something I'm a little passionate about, because, you know, Philly's history gets a lot of bad rep. Well, Philly in general gets a lot of bad rep, but it's not that bad. I mean, there's like bad parts of every city, but it's not like stepping outside, you have to wear a bulletproof jacket. This is just a shoulder bag with my stuff in it. So, I really want to talk and get Philadelphia's history. You know, we've had a lot of bad, fucked up history too. Like, you know, we were like colonizers and, you know, contributed to slavery for a point. And, you know, did a lot of fucked up shit to natives. But, you know, there's a good part of the history and the bad. And I don't think either three of the schooners ever, well, they sailed a few times. I think they actually might have sailed to Africa a few times. But yeah, they barely ever sailed before the company went bust. I mean, I'm surprised no one bought them sooner, before they rotted away. I've been trying to end this video for several minutes now, and it just keeps going. So I'm just gonna say bye and go read the article on, I believe it's Hidden City, about the Dead Fleet. It's very interesting. Alright, bye.